Dorlan H. Francis, may I forgive you official introduction,
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, this is Dorlan H. Francis,
Good morning,
historian,
Mr. Francis.
Greetings,
political
greetings.
advocate, MP caretaker. You understand me? A historian extraordinaire, the mighty Dorlan H. Francis. Welcome, Dorlan.
All right.
Thank you, boy. Paul, I hope I can live up to the billing.
Well, take it away, my friend.
Guys, it was a pleasure when Paul called me and wake me out of my bed this morning. Just kidding. I was wide awake. I am
Man,
awake.
wake you out of your sleep, not out of your bed.
I am awake from 3 o'clock doing politics. I am a political junkie, so I was following up the North American politics and so on and so forth. Yeah, man, but it was a pleasure to come join the group because, I like people who crave history. Because people must crave history. I mean, Gavin said, if you don't remember the history, we're going to repeat it. One man said, the further back you look, the further forward you can see. Right? And there are some people who think that history is redundant. Right? And I talk about, like if new things done and new time done. No, the only thing new right now is different ways to do the same thing that you want to achieve. Because really in life, nothing really changed. We are here on earth and we need food, clothing, and shelter to sustain our lives, right? And these things are best passed to people through politics. And politics is how we organize ourselves so that we can live a better life, right? So when we come to politics, we have to deal with the history. And I'm very pleased to know that there are people out there who crave the history. And I am willing to share what I know, I'm willing
We are
and
very
able
pleased
to.
to have you, sir. We are very pleased to have you. Welcome.
So, Darlan, we were talking about the whole incident in Tapil. So, give us some insight on that now, and then we have some other questions we want to go down in.
Well, all right, the Tapil incident that happened leading up to the 1980 election, right? The 6th of July, I think 6th of July was running in southwest St. Elizabeth. I think that's where Tapil is. And it was a close seat. It coming like the seat was slowly then now, which PNP had it and then slowly fight and take it away. Right? So it was one of those marginal seats where you fight over. And Michael determined saying want a seat there. Right? And they went into the area. Michael carried an entourage of people, mostly Cuban trained brigadistas. Right, when a guy with bodyguard him a Cuba and got trained, right? And they came now and they wanted to intimidate 6th of July. And probably would have killed him if them did catch him. But they certainly wanted to put pressure on him to intimidate him. And so they went there the day and looking for him. And at one time, the man said, see July there. And they start running him down. And what happened, July ran through the house there for the youth that was killing their parents. Because they were key supporters of the party and 6th of July. So him ran to that house seeking refuge. But he was smart, him ran through the house. He never stopped in the house. So if he stop, I'm not killing them kill the tree picnic. But he ran through and then now when the thugs came in, they heard the kids under the bed and thought it was July hiding under the bed. And them just, without looking, them just pump shot under there, killed 2 and injured 1. Right? And that was all the Tapil thing Tapil incident went.
And that was it?
I mean, there were some. Michael was charged for it and thing, but you know, when you charge a comrade in Jamaica, you just go through the motion. You're not going to win. And that's what happened. He was charged and was free because that's what happened in everything. I mean, the same thing with Green Bay massacre. The guy who was behind the machine gun, he was charged and he was freed. You know, and it just said go in Jamaica when comrade kill ever another prison.
So you're saying, Dorlan, that Mike and Manley actually pulled the trigger?
No, my understanding of it was his bodyguard and the thugs them who pulled the trigger. But Michael was the man who said, see July, and he was the leader. In any other country, Michael would have been charged for that. Michael was the one who incite that violence. That
He was charged, he just wasn't sent to prison.
Right, he was charged and trial Black River there, Black River Court. And it's Michael and the court system and everything was just biased towards PNP. And it fell apart and nothing came of it.
So, Dorlan, who eventually won that seat, though?
July won it, man. July won it. We won a lot of seats in 1980.
Okay.
It was when we won 51 seats now, and 9 they were left with.
Okay. So let me ask you. So this piece of history, is this the same as the man with the white handle gun, or it was that a different piece of history?
It's the same piece, man, because Michael always walk around with them gun.
Okay, so is this that I know that he got the whole story was dubbed the man with the white handle gun. So
Yeah. No, and a lot of people, no, Michael, a lot of people have the view that it was Michael pull the trigger, but no, it's not Michael. I talk to people there who was on the ground there. I know Michael, man. I know the guy. I know a guy who was Michael personal bodyguard that day there.
Question,
Communist.
Mr. Dorlan, question. Should, in your estimation, right, if Edward Seaga didn't win the 1980 election, what do you believe would have came of Jamaica? You think would have gone communist?
Of course, full hardcore communist. I mean, during that time, we had an IMF agreement on the table because the PNP, the government went to the IMF in I think 87, and they were still there fighting over the IMF agreement. And of course, the IMF was always telling them to do hard measures, hard fiscal discipline was being imposed. And that time you had Trevor Monroe, you have the same one then over there in the Senate, the senator who was charged with having bombs in his car.
Oh, that Lambert Brown.
Lambert, yeah. So there was a strong building up of communism, and they had good roots in the West. Westman, they had communist activity there. So and Lambert Brown was down there. I think they caught him in Hanover, driving around with car with Molotov cocktails, right? And so they were there, and they were advocating for what was called the alternative path, right? So they never come and say communism, Because one of the things with those totalitarian people, them never show them true color. They always disguise what they're doing. So they were there advocating for an alternative path, basically saying, leave IMF alone. The IMF requirements are too onerous, too harsh on the people. So make we leave IMF alone and go to the alternative path. Well, the alternative part was the Cuban part, or the full core communist part, right? And of course, we all know that part would not have provided any relief for the poor suffering people of Jamaica, but it would have entrenched them into power.
But pardon me, can I interject for a second?
Yeah, man, sure.
All right. Remember, it was Michael Manley first that went to the IMF, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't Siaga.
No.
And remember when Siaga was campaigning between 76 to 1980, the slogan was, "It's Manley's fault." IMF.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
IMF.
IMF means it's Manley fault.
It's Manley's fault.
If
And
you
he never liked that one bit. He never liked that
no, man,
one bit.
it was a good kind enough slogan. It hit.
Right? And they also campaigned on a thing called freedom. And the author of that song had to run away from Jamaica and go to England. The song that was called Freedom Blues.
Okay, and I didn't know that one. I know that.
You know that song?
Our slogan in the 1980 was deliverance.
Yeah, freedom.
Deliverance. Yeah. What was it? Lester Lewis you're talking?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I
Lester.
hope that I should live to see that every man shall be free.
What's his name?
I think it's Lester Lewis.
Just
Lester
type
Lewis.
in Freedom Blues. Just type in Freedom Blues and you will see the song come up.
It used to be like on the political platform at almost everything. I remember the last time I seen him more than Stone Hill in 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But just to back up a bit with the IMF thing there, and a lot of people don't know it. I'll get a quick history about IMF. IMF first come to Jamaica in 1963, right? Jamaica got independence in 1962. We became a part of the United Nations. We subscribed to the IMF and all those things. And then when we became independent, our government led by Buster prudently got a standby a 10 million special drawing rights standby agreement with the IMF. Just in case we run into any difficulty, we would have had it.
But make it clear that he didn't ask for it, though,
No, he asked for it, man, but it was needed. That's the thing, and it wasn't used. That is what people need to understand. That assent was touched because it was just a standby thing. It was a precautionary standby
pretty much
thing.
like the same thing like we have now.
Right, I think, Nigel and Andrew is doing some work for precautionary and standby thing, which is prudent. Right, and that is what was done. So if you want to look at the history of IMF, it came 63, first time. We get a 10 million special drawing rights, right? But the next time IMF came to Jamaica, and a lot of people don't know this. The next time IMF came to Jamaica was 1973. 1973, right? And we got 26 million special drawing rights, 1 year standby agreement, and we used half of it. We used half of it because although Michael got Jamaica in 1972 with $153 million in reserve, by 1973 he was at the IMF door begging for money. Right? And what was especially wicked, right, is June 73 IMF come to Jamaica when we needed it. When the money was used for the first time. And Michael Manley in April 73 stood up in Parliament and promised free education to university. Right? So that con man never have a cent in his pocket, never know where the money was coming from, but he stood up in Parliament and promised people free education to university. And love him or hate him, it is one of his legacy programs. That's why so you have some people, Michael Manley, PNP, love him to death because he didn't give them free education. Some guys that have university degree, them claim so them couldn't have had it not been for him, right? But when he announced that free education in April 1973, he never know where a dollar was coming from to finance it. And he never cared. That is how PNP do things. Then come announce program, they don't know how it will be funded, but them know say it's a feel-good thing, and them announce it and people get excited about it. And by June 73, he was getting IMF agreement money. 26.5 special drawing right in lose half of it. Because it was a 1 year standby agreement. If it was like the 3 year agreement, he probably would have used up all of it. But in the 1 year standby agreement, the agreement expires after a year.
And that wasn't the only thing he did with the IMF money. He give some people money, say, if you go to farming, eat what you grow and grow what you eat. And all of the man, them take the money, buy gun and bike, all type of sitting.
Well, that was one of the things. That was one of the way him exhaust the 153 million where Eddie Siaga leave in reserve. A whole heap of money. That is like about 14 billion. That is about what? About 14 billion now. Because that was from 72. You understand? And but so that was what some of that was when the news was reserved, exhausted in those things. And then I had to go to the IMF now to go borrow money. Yesterday, the reserve that was left there by Siaga, that was exhausted because they come with what is called crash program. They come with a thing called relief employment program. And it was the crash program. Now, the relief employment program was supposed to employ 22,000 people. 22,000 people, and you also get about $15 a week. And that program ended up writing 77,000 checks a week time. 77,000, right? And that is where the money was squandered.
Why was that, Mr. Dorlan?
Yeah, but I'm off the right check for man like George Pang, all Bucky Marshall and all them man there, when boy, them man they when them you couldn't get them one check, $15 for the week, one check for them. No, man, you have to get them like 20 checks, 30. You understand? So that is why you hear that program, which was it come in like the Porsche Jeep, Jamaican emergency employment program, which Jeep man when Porsche come in Jeep, it coming like that, it when you on paper that bad, because like the relief employment. It's called relief employment program, right? And we call it crash program. And it would have provided a little money here and there for people who were not employed and probably
$24 a week.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. Dorlan. What would you say, or who would you say triggered the 1980 political war? Because persons say it's Edward Siaga and the CIA.
All right. Let me talk to the plate on that now because I was there in the belly of that beast. You hear me? I want to listen to me good.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Go ahead.
In 1976, Michael Manley come with him bogus state of emergency and lock up the labor item. 1976, right? Because from 74, when he declared himself as a democratic socialist, he was losing grounds. And then he come in 74 and start running a party and gain grounds upon him. And he realized that he was losing traction. And the only way he could have won was to declare a state of emergency. And that is something I want to speak back to, but I don't want to cloud up the thing. So him declare a state of emergency, lock up labor right, and win 76 election. Eddie Siaga, and me a talk when say Eddie Siaga was like my father, right? And, you know, was very active them time there. Eddie Siaga was mortally afraid of another state of emergency. And he was there begging all of the shot of them to hold it and cool it. And he used him influence to the extent he could. And not a laborer could have left him and fire a shot. They couldn't do it. Because Siaga knows that if they go do anything, it's going to give Manley an excuse to come with another state of emergency and lock up the frontline labor right them. And that is something we couldn't do because that would be the last election in Jamaica. Right?
And that is when the Brigadistas became active and started killing labor right, left, right, and center.
Because it was during that time. In the late 70s, them send guys go Cuba, go learn for fire gun.
Yeah,
1,500 of them.
Was that state of emergency legal?
Yeah, it was legal, but it was corrupt.
Okay.
It was corrupt, which is two different things because the law allowed for it. The law allowed for it.
Yeah, but the timing in which they called the state of emergency, it was not necessary, none at all. There was no.
No. It was necessary. It was staged. The whole thing was staged. The PNP is a criminal organization. Michael Manley is an evil man. A lot of people like him and think he's suave and sexy and girl love him. He's a wicked man. You understand? The man, they stage the state of emergency. Right? I tell you something. You see jungle right now? When Tony Spalding win it now, 110 votes, him win by. 110 votes, him win by. And now he might win by 10,000 votes. Right? Because what they did was to go around there and clean out the whole of the labor right them around there.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know that his labor right build up most up a jungle, you know.
Darlan, when you say clean it out, expound on that. What do you mean clean it out?
Kill out the people and run them out.
Political cleansing. Political cleansing. And I say to show you that was the excuse, that was the pretext used. So if violence get out of hand, so the state of emergency must be declared. That was the pretext. And the pretext was Tony Spalding was getting rid of the labor right them in a jungle. And kill them and burn them out and rape them. All kind of atrocities was unleashed on them. And then that was used. That was it. Political violence is increasing and we need to calm things down. Right? And then during that period of time, because I remember it like yesterday, right? Because me in 1976, you had the gold, you had the orange lane fire, right? And that fire there was a thing where them go burn out one tenement yard. About Golipa labor was living there. Both PNP and labor living in the tenement yard. But the PNP used truck and thing and move out the PNP supporters. And the labor them was left there. And they went there May 1976. And burned down that place. Right? It was during that time they take two babies from the arms of their mother and throw it back into the fire.
My God.
And these things were done because, as Michael Manley said, he wanted alien crimes. Because he couldn't just declare state of emergency from people, 2 shot of liquor and 1 and 2 men died. So he wanted alien crimes to justify the state of emergency. Right? And the Orange Lane fire was that alien crime. Right? And within a month of the Orange Lane fire, the state of emergency was declared. So all the violence that was there, it was all staged And they used it as a means to cleanse South St. Andrew jungle of labor rights. A place where Tony Spalding won by 110 votes. That had to go to, it all went to recount and election petition. It had to withstand election petition. Right? 110 him win jungle by. And now jungle is the biggest PNP garrison in Jamaica. Right? And that will happen because them burn out and run out all of the labor right there. And when they build other houses, only PNP people got it, right? So the violence that was occurring justifying the state of emergency, but it was all engineered, it was staged, and then the Orange Lane fire now, which was a gruesome thing which make everybody chill, that was organized, right, by Spalding too. Lakatouche, them send on them other jungle strongman, them send around there, and then take baby out of the arms of mother and throw it in the fire. And then Michael declared a state of emergency. And one thing I want you guys to understand, and remember this, me tell you this. That state of emergency was the only state of emergency in Jamaica where murder increased during the state of emergency. Murders increased during the state of emergency. In 75, murder was 265. 265 murders occur in Jamaica. And in 76, when you have a state of emergency, we had 366 murders, right? 366, 101 more murder than before the state of emergency was declared. And then the following year, murders reached 409. So it moving from 266. It went to 360. 265 went to 366. And then the following year, it went to 409 murders, right? Under the state of emergency. So what that state of emergency was used for was to give PNP government cover to go kill labor rights.
The question, Mr. Francis. The PNP like to say that the CIA, we had help from the CIA. So can you expunge a little bit on that? And I am of the view that we did. And I am also of the view that if we didn't get help, we would have been wiped out. So could you expunge a bit on that?
We never get help from CIA. We never get help from CIA.
Okay.
The only thing we can tell you, say, might have happened, me no know that it did, is that when few people around them programs, CIA probably turn a blind eye to it. I don't know if they knew, but they turn a blind eye to it. Right? But CIA never help nobody, we help ourselves. If we guide them help ourselves and let Manley never overrun me. Right? And to answer the question that who started the shooting, PNP started it. And you know when the JLP responded, when the labor money wants a JLP, the labor rights supported them, when them respond, it was after PNP got burned on Evelyn Tide home. Because Mida Belmont Road, when you had the crisis meeting there. And Siaga still I run up and down and I beg it down them to hold it. Still I beg them to hold it down. I mean, me know one man in look at him and said, no, my auntie dead up there in Nago, and then walk out of the meeting. Walk out. So all of them come talk about JLP. Siaga was there after Evelyn Tide was burned down. And him realized, say, now this, I got insight labor right. Him had a meeting on Belmont Road. The time at Belmont Road, I think we just let the land them up there. And him go from man to man and beg them and play with them, tell them to hold it down. Because he was afraid, because he knew that Michael would have declared another state of emergency. He was afraid to. He would have done it. And if you give him the excuse, he would have declared a state of emergency. So even up to that point, the right man them was under restraint, leadership was strong and holding, and I encourage them not to take up no violence, right? And when them burn on evening tide, one man say, oh, you can't talk to me, and my people them that they get burned up. Me know when I'm on them. Well, come out of the meeting and just go back in place and go deal with what you have to deal with. And at this, so just look at, if you guys can get, I don't know if there's any paper, but daily news, if you can get daily news, you will see the chronology of how the violence leaking at Jamaica. And you will see that right after evening tide on fire. And that's so you can see the agony was turned on the PNP. It was not nothing before. It was right after that. You have played in a Socialist International, them growing and got shot that up, take out 4 or 5. You had Brentford Road, which part thing there with which part Gemini used to play every Sunday night, them used to do that. So man just visit that. You understand? All these things happen after evening tide on fire. And that was the time when the clapback came. After evening tide on fire, because PNP went and burned up poor people.
How many persons died, Dorlan, and where was this home located?
Evening tide, I forget the name of the street, but it's in the heart of jungle, man. Evening tide was in the heart of jungle. There was 155 people in the house. It was like a war. Myers Wharf, I think Myers Wharf was destroyed. There were a number of other dormitories. So you have some dormitories where the old ladies were in, and you have some dormitories where the old men were in, right? And there was 155 who were missing. And then could only account for 153. So some people burned to ashes and couldn't identify them.
So, Dorlan, what about the support staff that was there with these elderly people? Where was the staff? Did they die or them take for themselves before?
Well, I don't know how the count was allocated. I don't think the support staff took away themselves. But a jungle people, them again, the same set of people when go burn on Orange Lane fire. Right? The same set of people, man like Tony Welsh. That the brother there. That's why I tell you, man, Jamaica, and them man they do a whole heap of ranks to labor right and live.
I'm afraid to say it, man. A Tony Welch and he come house burn down even tired of woman.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to see it.
You mean the entertainer?
Yeah, man.
What?
Burn down and him and Tony Welch run we go foreign.
Oh my God. So Mr. Dorlan, you can say that in that time tribalism was at the highest peak.
You know, civil war we fight, man. A civil war we fight, you know.
Oh my God.
A civil war we fight.
Yeah, man, in them days, the helicopter over here every night.
When I come to access CIA, we tell you straight up, man. Because me see all the things and me know enough things. The most CIA could have done is say, well, turn a blind eye. Them probably know the runnings are going on and them never intercept it. That's the best them you could have said CIA though. When man go, oh, the CIA what? A labor right organize themselves and defend themselves. Labor right, me know man where we fly out 5 ton load of 5 plane load of weed, and every time a plane come back in a gun in night. In a 1918, man, them drop a plane down a mobile there and run with the
Yes.
ship. Eh?
I remember that.
Yes. That was one of the shipment. You think a CIA do it, CIA do it. And never CIA, a labor right organize themselves and defend themselves because labor rights don't want for nobody, no, but nobody now come turn with a slave. And the man them rise up.
As a matter of fact, that was the introduction of M16 and AR-15 to Jamaica.
Well, the M16, a PNP carry M16 come to Jamaica. A PNP because what really happened, when the Brigadistas them go Cuba. When the Brigadistas then go Cuba, Vietnam had some M16 down there. And you know, American M16. So now them they were able to get those M16 from them fraternal brothers in Vietnam. And to try to give them, because when the M16 show up now, them will go and say, oh, I'm going to, you know, Cubans don't deal with M16 and just American deal with M16. So that's why what really happened. It was just a plausible denial ability them was, you know, acting on.
So,
And
Mr. Francis, can you give us any insight as to Michael Manley, one of Michael Manley henchman that was called Federman, that was eventually killed? Can you give us an insight?
man, man, Michael Man, the passieros of the garrison, Federman upon Bourbois, Spar, and Bernard, and all them man, they were used to run Central Kingston, man. And them, so them man, them man, they prepared to use violence to win power, you know. And Michael was associated with those guys. Michael went on platform and big up his passieros of the garrison. He never make no bone about it. And Bourbois was the big guy, and Federman was the right, and Federman was you know, Rasta man. Him here look like map, and him had the head. Him was the head, and if him come with the scatter them strategy, him and Bourbois employ what them call the scatter them strategy, which was to disperse the labor rights them. And scatter them out of South St. Andrew and scatter them out of Southwest St. Andrew, right? So it was I think I am kind of phrase scatter them, and that was the strategy that they employed to run with the labor right them from South St. Andrew and Southwest St. Andrew. So that was Bourbois, that was Federman field. Federman and Bourbois accompanied Michael Manley to Cuba, right?
This is it.
I think it was 79. I remember when him go to Cuba, right? And him go Cuba, and him serve him pork. Every meal is pork, and him get fed up with it, and him kick over the table with the pork, and guess what them say? That boy I get too big for him birches. Them have to take care of him.
You have embarrassed Michael Manley.
Yeah. And one day, him then him water and hole, and a man just walk up to him and pump, give me double tat. Give me double tat and just
But Dorlan, if Michael Manley were to take him to Cuba, that would have been an official state visit
Yes.
with a gunman.
Of course, if we would ever see any labor right do that, we would never been able to live that down. It was an outrageous and egregious act. The man was accompanied to Cuba. He was accompanied to Cuba by Federman and Bourbois. And everybody knows to them that gunman, right? Yeah. And them going like, but that's how PNP operate. And what happened because they control the propaganda of the state. You know, them control the news media. Them time, they know, man. It's not like now where we have TikTok and Facebook and all that. Them time that we had Gleaner, we had the Daily News, we had JBC and RGR, and I think they were planning. Then took over RGR, so RGR never wasn't able to do them independent broadcasting. So JBC now was run by man like John Maxwell and Hearn. Hearn, women, him and Michael eventually follow. But Hearn was a very good journalist. He used to run JBC. And
Abrams.
And yeah, Peter Abrams was the opinion man, you know. And the whole of them man there, they were skilled at what they do.
And Carl Stone was like up in arms against Manley back then. You used to do clean
No, not Carlson so much, Carlson tried to remain independent. His polls were very accurate. And
remember it was Michael Manley threatening Carlstone into oblivion,
well, I don't know about what happened. I know Carlson poll was very accurate, and naturally when so when a pollster come with a poll that is not supportive of you, people tend to attack the pollster and things. So no, but Carlson never gonna win. Carlson was very much here.
Yeah,
Question,
but
Mr. Francis.
Michael
So
Manley them threaten him and him come out of circulation till him just fret to death.
No, another kill Carlson, man.
question, Mr. Francis. So Portia Simpson Miller would have entered politics around 73, 74, I believe. Did she play any role in the violence of the 80s?
They man. They man, Portia bad man.
Hey, Dorlan, I heard from a reliable source of an interaction, a young Portia Simpson Miller, I think she was just a counselor, with some police. I guess they were labor right police. And in the interaction, surprisingly, right? Portia literally drop her underwear and skin out her. You don't know anything about that, Dorlan.
I don't know what that, but I hear about that number that thing. I don't want to say too much because Portia's still alive. But like the Eventide, no Eventide, the Orange Lane fire, the Orange Lane fire, there was some people who went in on bikes and there was a pillion on the bike back. And they really go observe that the mission was being taken care of, So, they scatter them strategy that was well executed in Southwest St. Andrew. And she was the lead councillor around there, and then eventually became the MP around there. All right. So she was very active, and I never dragged her around that place.
Exactly. So, Dorlan, let me ask you, moving a little bit forward before we recap. Spy Robinson affair.
You want to know that, though?
Yeah, man. Give a recap again on that there.
All right, let me.
Before you go there, so Mr. Dorlan, so on several occasions we heard you say something like that the last election. Can you expunge on what that means?
Because you'd have had a one-party state,
Democracy would have been there.
and because the PNP no make no bone about it, that they want a one-party state, They never make no bone of that they were democratic socialists, and then as DK said, the democratic was placed as sugar coating.
Okay,
Right?
so this is why we are seeing the PNP being rebuilt in Mark Golding's image now then.
I'm not sure I understand that point you're making.
Yes, so we see like Mark Golding is embedding himself. It is not the PNP of the old. That is a different PNP now under Mark Golding and Rise United. Even though PNP are the system,
that's an internal power struggle, man. A PNP remain PNP, but they are having internal power struggle. So two men with money are trying to control the organization.
Okay. Well, go ahead with the question, Paul C.
Yeah, Spy Robinson affair.
All right, the Spy Robinson thing now. All right, look. Eddie Siaga took over JLP in 74, right? Michael Manley declared that the PNP was democratic socialist in 74, right? And from him make that declaration, he was a nervous man. I'm never sure how the Jamaica people would respond to democratic socialism, right? So when Eddie took over JLP, him decided to go around meeting all over the place. He went on a 1,000 meeting in plan 1,000 meeting across Jamaica.
Wow.
And he went out there, and sometime when he go out of 5 people he meet, because even when him just start, man do 5 people. Then it reached to 50 people, right? And it start build. And Michael always had special branch and follow Siaga and observe his meetings. And special branch was reporting that Siaga was gaining strength, right? And because when the state of emergency dropped 76, then they'd have a meeting in a month, and there could be a 50,000 people come on the meeting, starting from going a meeting where 5 man are come, 10 man over there, so, and it was just building strength. And the Spy Robinson affair now was designed to entrap Siaga. And what they wanted to do was what actually happened was that they gave Spy Robinson, a petty criminal, and gave him a gun. And him Spy Robinson was supposed to meet with Eddie and say things and do things. Because him had a tape also that would have recorded the conversation. And them was hoping to have Siaga on tape saying things where probably could be considered criminal, And that was the thing behind the Spy Robinson thing. When Spy Robinson, if Michael engaged him, give him gun, although him had a criminal record, and give him a tape recorder. And he was supposed to meet with Siaga now and go talk up all kind of things. And then hopefully would have had Siaga on tape agreeing to or saying things that would have implicated, right? But Eddie Siaga, when Spy Robinson tried to meet with him, Siaga get what I don't remember who was the captain from the army, but it was a captain, a senior army officer. Him make him say accompany him go at the meeting. The meeting was at Turkle Towers. And then the plan never really worked like how Michael had envisioned it, because he got no idiot. And then now, what really happened is that when Siaga went to Montego Bay as part of the 1,000 meeting plan, he called a press conference. He called a press conference for Saturday the 19th of June. And Michael Manley now believed Siaga was going to bust out about how Michael had set up Spy Robinson and try to entrap him. And that is why the state of emergency was declared for the 19th of June, 1976. Because the original plan was that the state of emergency should have been the following Monday, then bring it forward to the Saturday, the June. And that was just because in fear say, Siaga was, you see, because Michael know when he engaged Spy Robinson, him think Siaga was going to say more about that, but there was not much more to say, because all in all happened was that the plan was to entrap Siaga, right? Spy Robinson called him up, asked him for a meeting. Siaga granted him a meeting, but Siaga brought a senior army man with him as witness. So there was not much that came of that meeting, right? But because Michael know when did have in mind, him figure say, see, I go bust it out. And that is why they come with the state of emergency. Because during the state of emergency, you could not say nothing, you know. You can't talk, you can't give no statement, you can't do nothing.
Question, Mr. Francis, persons in the chat want to know how did Portia get the cut on her head?
I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't
And
know that.
also, question again, did at any time Michael Manley try to assassinate Edward Siaga?
I don't know that, and I don't think so. Because what I can tell you, that during the state of emergency, the Governor General Ongla assent to it, agreed to sign the thing into law, on the condition that Siaga was not detained. Because Michael knows if he touch Siaga, civil war, it would be all out war. So I don't think he would have been so dumb to try hurt him. He would not have been so dumb. So I don't think him try. I don't think him.
Yeah, when Papa Eddie was pinned down on a gunfire, that was not sanctioned by Michael then.
No, that was part of the. That was part of the 1980 activity. Water run by Waterhouse, that it was, you know. Because those are the places where a lot of Brigadistas came from. You understand? So you had a lot of Brigadistas were born with M16 out there.
That was the first place, the first set of M16 came to Jamaica, came to Waterhouse.
Might very well have been, because those guys were the bulk of the Brigadista program. Waterhouse, Rockfort, and then.
So Dorlan, what was the aim of this program? What did the PNP hope to achieve with this Brigadista program?
I want to pick up
Tell about the formulation of this program, if as much as you know.
The Brigadista program, if you understand totalitarianism, from Mussolini with his black shirts to Hitler with his brown shirts, if you're going to seize a country and you're going to impose totalitarianism on the country, you cannot rely on the security forces, the established security forces, because them probably might not be ideologically aligned to you. They might not, the established security forces might not be into what you want, right? So either they ever try to turn them, which might take a long time, or the fact that they might resist what I try to. So therefore, you cannot rely on the army, and you cannot rely on the police force. Because while you might have 1 or 2 men in your pocket, you can't have the whole force in your pocket. So therefore, you have to have your auxiliary force. So the Brigadistas were supposed to be an auxiliary force in the likes of Mussolini, black shirts, and Hitler brown shirt, right? That is what the Brigadistas was supposed to be. They were auxiliary armed force who would have protected the PNP and the enforcers for the PNP, right? And who could have taken on the established, like the established police, established military. Them could have taken those people on. So that was the mission of the Brigadista program. And
So Michael Manley was fully prepared to go to all-out war to keep control of Jamaica.
Of course. The man love power more than anything else. He was a girl man, but he looked like he love power more than the other people.
But Dorlan, so when it came onto these Brigadistas, how you think this recruitment? Because obviously you can't just recruit anybody. How did this recruitment take place?
That was the easy part, man. That was the easy part. I don't know. Have you ever read the book, The Road Not Taken?
Well, Chopper was here talking about it. I have not read it, but I say if you're gonna be, I'm guessing that this is a substantial force. maybe a couple of hundred people. How would
As
you,
1,600 people were sent to Cuba for
Over
training.
1,500 people, you know.
Yeah.
but how did, because this, if okay, if we're in Jamaica now, are we here, the GLP and the PMP are put together
It
1,500
wasn't
people.
something that was advertised.
Yeah, but still, to make it legitimate, you must have given a reason
Was
why
it
these people
legitimate?
went to Cuba.
What they did, they were certifying these young men as electricians, plumbers, and those. That's what
Carpenter.
they were doing.
Oh, so that
Carpenters.
was the
Saying
guys.
the excuse was that they were being sent to Cuba for construction training.
Gotcha.
Right.
Guys who went there to learn how to do steel work.
Right, and medical. Some of them was medical assistants.
Well, yeah,
And
the
said that,
medical never come till later.
right, and
But
they said that
but
they would come back in the country to impart their work.
Those
Yeah.
things.
Right.
no, the pretext was that they were being sent there for to learn construction trade, right? But if you read the road not taken from them go there gun them go learn how to fire,
Okay.
then go learn how to clean and care gun, then go learn how to rob banks
Mm.
so that they could fund their activity.
Wow.
They went there to learn to bust people out of prison, right? And in 1980, there was a spate of bank robbery, taking place in the country because they were taught how to rob bank to finance them activity. So that's what they went to Cuba to do.
A lot of us, Mr. Francis, are of the view now that under Mark Golding's leadership presently, Jamaica is charged for another war like this. What say you?
All right. Let me tell you this, my brother. I mean, I tell you, say, I don't know because I don't know what my party leadership know, right? And I don't know what them doing. But all me know say from where me stand, me know say the PNP is preparing for war. They are gonna flood the system with money, and them going to flood it with gun, and them are come for power at all costs. I
I
don't
see
know.
that coming. I see it coming.
Yes, yes. The thing is, right now, if you follow the news internationally, the other day the state was a hydroponic activity in Florida, right? Hydroponic. It was established as an hydroponic business. But in the background, it was a grow operation, and them a grow weed and them thing there. When the Fed went in, they found money in some orange peel. You think some liberals would like orange peel? Them found money in some orange peel. The peel were full with $100 bills. And the total take was 34 million US dollar. 34 million US dollar of money in orange peel. You understand? Now, we don't know which labor today use orange peel. And those are the kind of money that is being mobilized out there. The man there.
We also hear about a restaurant that was distributing M16, sending them to Jamaica. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
there was this mobile kitchen. I don't remember what state it was in, but there was this mobile kitchen, and you know who operate that. I don't know if you know a guy named Termite or hear about Termite. Eh?
It was in New York.
Termite is a Klansman. Them police kill him the other day. Them bury him recently. But Termite is a Klansman. We run him take over from Wandan, him was leading the Wandan faction, right? Because it was a black
Black
man.
man.
Black man faction, black man that prison termite was the man that run it, right? So that operation that got busted, a termite wife in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Termite wife was busted in it.
And she just got married him for he left the country, you know. But it didn't work out.
Say that again.
She just married him. He died like a week after he get married. So that's a preparation to leave Jamaica.
Yeah. It was the plan was to get him out.
Yeah.
All right, the plan was to get him out and to have him up there, doing him thing up there. But I say all of that to show you show the PNP connection, show the PNP activity, right? Tell them the PNP bit operation.
So it's safe to say, it is safe to say, Mr. Francis, that majority, and I'm not going to say all, but majority of the crime and violence from the 70s leading up to present day is being perpetrated by a person affiliated to the People's National Party. And this
Yeah,
is
man.
why such a high uptick in crime in Jamaica.
Yeah,
But
man.
let me add one little thing. Separate and apart.
I saw they came out recently, But 98% of the people in a prison come from PNP area. 98%. Yeah, man. 98%. And when you look at that amount of people, and when you know how much PNP man bust case, because top ranking PNP man don't go prison. You know what PNP man bust case, and then 98% of the people in prison come from PNP area. You can understand the extent of the criminality of people, PNP supporters.
And there's another shocking statistics. 75% of the population cannot read nor write.
Wow.
Yeah, that's surprising.
No one carry back to an ugly part in our history. But I want to talk to you about how we got to that point in history. And this is the Tivoli incursion. So I want to give you the background as to how we got to that position.
Tivoli. Well, look. Tivoli. Had it not been for Tivoli, we would be a one-party state. Had it not been for Tivoli, Labour right to have a runway. If pure love me have for Tivoli. They are not choir boys. Them not go to Sunday school, but them not go initiate no attack on nobody. Them not initiate no attack on nobody. They defend. If it wasn't for Tivoli, you see what happened to South St. Andrew? The cleansing will take place there. The Tony's Parliament by 110 votes, and right now South St. Andrew is win up by 11,000 votes. You see what happened to Southwest St. Andrew? Southwest St. Andrew, was our strongest garrison, JLP's strongest garrison, A DC Tavares built that. Right? DC Tavares built that. DC Tavares also win by 4,000 or 5,000 votes. He won by the biggest margin in 72. In Jamaica when PNP win. He had the biggest margin in 72. And look at South St. Andrew now. A PNP stronghold. Right? And I say all of that to say that did not been for a place like Tivoli. That is what would have happened to West Kingston also. That is what would have happened to West Kingston. So them man, they organize themselves to defend against what the PNP are come with. Right? And me not no problem with that. Because I also don't come make nobody run over me.
Yes, we did want to talk to you about how them set up Bruce Golding with Peter Phillips specifically with the agreement that they signed with the United States to get out Christopher Dodd's school. And did Bruce Golding have a choice in the matter?
Um, I don't have enough information on those things more than what is in the public. You understand? And all I could say that them know that extraditing Dodos would have been volatile. So they basically Peter Phillips shunt that and bypass it and leave it for Bruce to deal with. Right? And then because it was them who was asking, what are you doing about the extradition? Though is not there an extradition request there for one to act on? And so basically the request came in when Peter was security minister. Them ignored it. And when Bruce took over, them start pressuring and asking him if he not deal with it. By this time, Peter had gone and signed an MOU, which, as far as I'm concerned, it was treason. Because nobody knew about it. And the incoming prime minister never knew nothing about it. And all that was happening is that under this MOU, Britain, Canada, and US was there listening to every conversation, Jamaica government people and all that. Every conversation. So Uncle God know one what they hear Bruce attack say. So I don't know what they might have had on him. But all I know that is that that agreement there, border and treason, and Peter should have been charged for that. He went and signed an agreement. Not even Peter, Prime Minister, never know about it. Because Peter, they don't have him plans set for travel over through Portia. And he was hoping that they probably could have caught Portia in a compromising position to saying things that would compromise her. Right? So the whole thing was cloak and dagger business, which was, to me, was treason, right? So I don't think there is much more you could have done. They could have handled it a little better because it's one thing, when you face with certain things, you have to just accept the reality and deal with it.
So sidebar question, Mr. Francis. So that was the reason why our parliamentarians was losing their visa in that period of time.
Well, that's a whole other matter,
Okay.
That's a whole other matter now. All right, you guys speak on it too. Because right now, I see them have my leader and I hold up a pressure and I don't like it. Right? And these things, what was happening is that, because even one of us MP, I understand that a bounty asks America for revoking visa. And even the ambassador who was here before him left, him said it out loud, him said Peter come to him and ask him to revoke Vaz visa. Him said it and him apologized to Vaz for it.
Then Peter Vaz no friend me here, so Peter do them things then.
Look man, friend is relative. I can't friend you for screw you over. I ain't no friend of them in politics, man. No friend of them.
Hard remarks you attack.
No, man. No. When the name again, man, the one before, the ambassador before this one, I know, in Jamaica. The one who is in Jamaica.
What, Tapia in here?
Tapia.
Oh, the American ambassador you attack.
Yeah. Tapia. Because Tapia said it publicly.
No, but what Tapia did, when Peter Bunting went to him with the information and gave him the list of names, what Tapia did was investigated Mr. Bunting and the PNP because they wanted to know why he was giving these information.
Well, that might have been the case.
And when they came up with the information, they said to Mr. Bunting, you're the one who should be investigated, and gave him a list of the things they had on him.
Well, I wasn't aware of that. But yeah, that might very well have been so. Yeah, but the thing is though, right now, that approach that they are taking there, where the PNP, because right now where the PNP, you see the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission is being used as a cudgel against the Labour Party.
As a political porn.
It's a cudgel, as a piece of stick, with a big stick where you're going to use, lick him man in him head. Right? And that they are using it for. And we want organization like yours, group like this, to speak out against it. Because here's what's happening. The way the IC, the Integrity Commission Act set up right now, the way the Integrity Commission Act is set up, me can take up the phone right now, and call the IC people and say, investigate Bunting. Me not like, how am I flex, how am I go on, how am I flash, where am I get money from? Go and investigate him. And they are duty bound to start an investigation on him. They not ask me where me get my information from, how me know nothing. They not ask me nothing. Me take up my phone and call and say, investigate Bunting. I'm a flash, I drive big car.
So MP Caretaker, what can be done about that? Can a legislation can something be drafted to sort that out?
Yeah, before I come to the solution, I want it clearly understood. And the Jamaican people need to clearly understand it. That this is how, like all this illicit six, that's how it came about. Where any political opponent can just take up the phone and call the IC and say, investigate so and so and so. And what the PNP has been doing is having them people call the IC and say, investigate so and so and so. That is why you see my man, I could have a call name the other day. Because them don't know who them sick the Integrity Commission on. Them don't know. Because the principle is this. When me take up the phone and call IC and say, investigate Bunting, IC can't go tell Bunting say me call. IC can't go tell nobody say me call. IC can't even tell Bunting so they are investigating him. There's no disclosure. Right? But nevertheless, the man them come now and go on like I said, this illicit six is being investigated and Andrew must say who they are. Him don't know who they are. Nobody no tell him. And nobody can tell him by law. Nobody can't announce who is being investigated by law. But they're using this.
How long from now?
Huh? Who was that?
Go ahead, MP Caretaker.
Yeah. They use this as a cloud of doubt over the whole place, right? And making people think the government is corrupt and doing all kind of nefarious things, right? And we need to speak to it. No, I don't know if somebody else know how we fix it, but it's very. The only way, what I've been advocating is for our leadership in the JLP to go to maybe Parliament or somewhere and speak, say this is how the thing works. And mischief can be made. And there's a lot of mischief making going on. You understand? I think if the people understand that mischief can be made and mischief is being made, then what the PNP is trying to do will not be as effective as they hope it will be, because we know it can be very dangerous, it can be very damaging, right? So that is how you fix it, is by our leadership. Either go to Parliament or have a public address and say, look, this is how the integrity thing, the hack work. If you, any door bloke, can take up the phone and call them and say, investigate so and so. And they are duty bound to investigate the person. And they can't talk. All they can say is that they are investigating X, 1, 2, or 3 people. But they can't say who these 3 people are. Because some investigation might come to naught. Nothing will come of it, and you can't go call them and say, we are investigating you. And then when investigation done, you say the man is clean as a whistle. That now go help the man.
The MP Caretaker, talk to us about the Prime Minister's statutory declaration, explaining to persons, because they are laborers that don't understand what is going on, and there's definitely comrades that don't understand.
I appreciate that question, and that's what I speak about.
Yes.
I appreciate the question. And here's the thing now. one thing me can say, I mean, me say it without any fear of fear, because I mean, sometimes me no really care. The Integrity Commission has a bias against the JLP. Me no care who want vex. They have a bias against the JLP,
Is
right?
the president of the Integrity Commission not a fellow People's National Party member?
Yeah, then one of them that used to work with one of them used to work with Peter Phillips, you know. I think the one here, Evan, the one where they rob and everyone, him no one give nobody no statement. Right? He used to work with PNP. Greg Christie. Greg Christie a comrade, you know. A PJ invite Greg Christie to come back here, you know. A PJ invite him down here, you know. So Greg Christie a comrade. So although he might go on like him is a just person and him Solomonic in what he does. He might be PNP bias. Right? You remember after them Rob Evans, he might come out, ask the government. That was a totally responsible statement. You remember when them said them was going them was questioning the behavior of the leader. And Greg Christie run got tweet said Prime Minister is going to be charged. When him don't know say the woman in charge of prosecution decides said the thing not reach the level where it should be prosecuted. Him don't know say it wasn't going to be prosecuted, you know. Nevertheless, he make public announcement by way of Twitter that this was going to be done. So I am telling you this straight up. So the Integrity Commission, most of the people, not all of them, not like the government, an Integrity Commission will run interference to PNP. They will do things that will benefit PNP. Therefore, with that said in mind, they will always be sending back asking people for information. Right? And until them get all of the information they want, them can't certify the man declaration. Because they will always be sending back, what is this? How this go? That, give me some information on this. And they're always asking for information, some of them which them even know the answer to. But they just want to annoy. They want to keep the thing in the public eye. And they want to say, we are unable to certify the declaration because we're still seeking information. And that is the strategy that is at play here, that is the ploy that is at play.
MP Caretaker. So there's a PNP blogger that Miss Brownberg frequent his platform, spreading lies and propaganda. That platform is a lot bigger than our platforms, right? And that platform, they are they are trying to say that the government stole $1.6 trillion. So can you give me any insight and the missing or the unaccounted for $1.6 trillion when it went missing?
That's total rubbish. That's total rubbish. But they use trillion because they're looking for a shock number. You have to understand propaganda, and you have to understand how they play on words. Trillion is a shock number. Billion, even a billion is a shock number too, right? But they have no way of proving nothing. There's nothing like that. Not like that. They just. But let me just wrap up with the thing here, because it bothers me, and I want people of goodwill, people who support the party, to understand how this thing go why the Prime Minister's declaration is not certified, right? It is not certified because first and foremost, and people may have to be guarded when we talk, but sometimes I don't care. The IC no credibility, right? They are corrupt too, and them have them PNP bias, right? And them know that they will help the PNP by having the basically hang out the Prime Minister for dry, you know. Because no matter what him provide to them, them are going to ask for more. And as long as they're asking for more, they can't certify. And they are going to go around saying they cannot certify the Prime Minister's declaration. Because they keep asking. I just cite one quick example. There was a member where the man have a term insurance. A man declared him have a term insurance. And the IC asks him what is the cash value of the policy. I mean, I don't know anybody in the world when I know it's a term insurance don't carry cash value. And they basically was asking this member to prove a negative. Because you come ask, what is the cash value of the policy? The policy now no cash value. And when the member said the policy now, they're not accepting that. The member can't prove otherwise. They're not going to prove the term. And then no, they can't call, I don't know if they can, but they apparently don't want to call up and ask the insurance company, what is the cash value for this member policy? They don't want to do it. So they just leave the thing out there hanging.
Stick up in MP Caretaker. Labor rights. The MP Caretaker is disseminating lots of factual information that we need to put out there in the universe. Why are labor rights not sharing the life? Go ahead, MP Caretaker.
Yeah, man, and we need to jump on it because here's the thing. Let me tell you straight up. All right, let me not say that. But the thing is, this government are far more more honorable, more honest than the PNP could ever be, right? I mean, I don't know if there's any shenanigans going. I don't know, right? But the thing is, what they are doing is trying to cause this cloud of doubt, right? And I don't know how long this live are going for, but I want to speak to that because it is a strategy that the PNP have been using. And they have used it successfully over all these years, right? There's a strategy called the strategy of corruption.
Hold on, Dorlan, just so you know. Dorlan.
Yes?
Just keep speaking. Keep speaking. We're listening.
Okay. Yeah. This strategy is called the strategy of corruption allegation. All right? And this strategy started from 1972. And it involved the missing school. 2 missing school. I'm a beg the party to speak to it, but it's like they don't want to touch them sitting there. Them to go back in it and touch and show people where we're coming from. And understand why we are where we are now. Because what really happened with that 2 missing school allegation, which was very successful. That's why the PNP won 72 election. One of the main reasons why the PNP won 72 election. After UShare went and borrowed $9.5 million and built 50 junior secondary school. And that was us. That wasn't all the school and built. The party said 59.
You were supposed to have built 50, but only 49 was completed.
Well, no, actually, 48. I'm coming to it. The money was to build. We're having an earthquake, folks.
Earthquake.
We're having an earthquake.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, it was a big one. Shit, man.
Oh, I'm feeling now. You feel the earthquake?
I can still hear the mountains.
Prepare for your aftershock, not get someone safe. Prepare for your aftershock.
Yeah, that was a big one. Good thing.
I can hear the mountains are still the mountain is still rattling.
Yeah, man, prepare for your aftershock. We get someone safe.
People through the gorge, be careful. And we can have mountain slides and rock slides. Anyway, I don't know. People might be listening. I don't know. Anybody who can take it, take cover, park up somewhere, wait for the aftershock. But people going through like the gorge or place where there's mountains, you have to watch out for slides and rock slides and mud slides. Mm. Anyway, back to the missing school thing there. The man them get the $9.5 million. The plan was to build 50.
What are that way?
That's right. Never.
The plan was to build 50 junior secondary school, expand 4 teachers college, and build teachers cottages at some of the rural schools. Right? It was a massive plan. Right? It was those kind of building while JLP, while the government, while the economy grew by them kind of number there. In 1970 and in 72, we had some phenomenal growth because the country was building at that level, right? And Michael knows say if you build 50 schools in 5 years, phenomenal, never been done before. And they just had to do things to distract from it, right? So now the program started at 1966. They went and signed the agreement by about 67 funds start to flow, right? But guess what happened? In 1968, in January 1968, legislation was passed so that Jamaica could change from pound, shilling, and pence to dollars and cents, right? So from 1968, there was a constant devaluation of the Jamaican dollar. And that devaluation was not because of mismanagement of the affairs of the country. It was not because of lack of production or anything like that. It was all because of the transformation from pound, shilling, and pence to dollars and cents, right? And because of this thing, the devaluation occurred. And a lot of the agreement that was signed to build these schools, for example, the schools, they were planning to build a school at $2 per square foot to build a school them. At the end of the day, it ended up costing $3 per square foot. Labor costs increased, material costs increased, right? So when the program was to build 50 schools, but we could only build 48 based on the movement of prices, which was no fault of the government. All they did was to move, they were planning to move from pound, shilling, and pence to dollars and cents, right? And that devaluation called price movement, which we say, well, because we have a fixed amount of money, we can't build 50, we have to build 48. And said the government called Manley and said, look, we can't build to the school, we can't build to the school. And there was, one of the schools was supposed to build in Central Kingston in Manley constituency. And Michael Manley said, no, big thing, man. We can't, you don't have to build none around here, so we're good. Right? And anybody hearing me? I'm not getting any feedback. Okay. All right. And Manley said, no, man, we're good. No, we have to go. And they didn't build any in Central Kingston. And the man them embarked on a campaign of 2 missing schools. And Michael Manley called in a journalist and said, see there, one of the schools was supposed to be built right here, so. And it's not here. 2 missing schools. And then go on, like I said, the schools were missing because of some humongous corruption. And nothing could be further from the truth.
To be better precise though, it was really 49 schools that was built. One of them was the 48 we are talking about was one unfinished and one never built.
Well, that might be good. You probably have more information here. But we know that two never built at the time when it based on the program. But the reason why it was
not to interrupt, but just to interject for a minute. And and that was what Manley used on campaign in 1972 to win the election.
Yes.
That we built. He used the school that we built to campaign and win the election. I said, better must come.
Well, yeah. The thing is, Because what they do, and this is what I tell you, that the PNP have what me call a strategy of corruption allegation. When they are in opposition, they allege corruption. And it has bear fruit for them. And when they are in government, they attack Tivoli Gardens and go on like labor are the most violent people in Jamaica. And it has borne fruit for them. 3 times them attack Tivoli, and that is the strategy they have used. Corruption allegation and attack on Tivoli. You understand? And so they use that. And as soon as Michael came and come with the DUJON'S Commission, there's the Harvey DUJON'S Commission, it's online. If people search it, they'll find it. And 10 of the things, 10 of the findings. The first one was because of devaluation.
Breaking news, guys. The JCF is reporting that they have captured the assailant that was threatening the Prime Minister and his wife. Go ahead.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. And this is squeezing bars. Make him scream out. Yeah, man. All right. So that is what they do. And I tell you something. I read the DUJON'S report. And the worst thing is it, and there was a guy who named Jata Brown who was the guy who was running the thing. I think he was the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education who was running the thing. And
here became Bank of Jamaica president.
No man, I know that one there. I know one there. Bert, him basically run me, and that was one of the thing, you know, because it looked like he was guilty of something. But the thing is, I read it, and here's the thing where what he was involved in. It's like say him know the contractor them, right? Who get work. Him know when the contractor them get paid. He might send a man go to the man and say, tell him a man if he send a lunch money come. Right? And that was the extent of the corruption that went on. Because him know say money run, and them man their money, he send go beg them. Basically send go beg them. Because corruption to me would have been say, well, a school if you bill for $150,000. If him said to them, say, well, no, buy a build school so big, you know, just use $70,000 and build it and make we split up the rest. That would have been corruption. Nothing like that no go on. When you look at the schools that were built, they are the best quality of schools in Jamaica. They were well designed, and the craftsmanship was the best. Just checking in on school and about the place. Quality craftsmanship, right? And nevertheless, then try going like there was corruption. There was no corruption other than the well, me I tell you, say when the man knows the money run and he go beg a contractor money. It's not like you collude with a contractor and say, look, you know, if you do the work and me and you will split the money. Not like that never went on. Right?
One of those schools was Edwin Allen, and the man that was Minister of Education at the time was Edwin Allen.
Yes. Edwin Allen was the Minister of Education, and Bert was the Giata Bert, and the guy who was saying him was the Bank of Jamaica. It's Brown who was the Bank of Jamaica, Giata Brown. But Bert, this guy is Bert.
I misconstrued what you said. That's wrong.
Yeah. And yes, and that is all that happened. The man just sent go back the contractor the money. And I don't know, it looked distasteful, yes. But is that corrupt? I don't know. If you know, say the man they get work, you are the man that run a check them. You know, say the man they get paid. And you say the man go beg them money. Me don't see the corruption. I see like that's you know, licky and thing.
The same thing like our man that depend the phone you know and you they are foreign and a man. So I'm beg $100 now.
Yeah, I know more than that.
No, say $100 value $15,000 down here.
I know more than that. Right? In any way, okay. So that was the thing, and they used that massive performance at the JLP. Build 50 schools. As a matter of fact, it's 59 schools because some of the schools were built out of the regular cash flow of the government. The budgetary allocation each year. So 59 schools they really built. And 120 primary schools over that period of time. From 62 to 72. Right? All of them school there. And in 1972, you see when Sherrod did say Granger secretary built by Labour, Kelly secretary built by Labour, and 1918 said that, you know. Him couldn't say it 72. Him couldn't say it 72 because in 72 the thing was toward the school missing. So you can't open your mouth and talk about no school because we are going to ask you how the school them go. And that was PNP strategy. Right? So they used that, the two missing school in 72. And when JLP come to power in 2007, and they implement the JD program, and then get $32 billion and build, refurbish all the riverbed them when PNP leave. In 2011 election, JLP go into a campaign and couldn't open the word and said JDIP. They couldn't open their mouth and say, we got $32 billion and we were able to build back up the road them that the PNP neglected. They couldn't do it. All because the man them build one little place for 100 million, right? Here you have a program, 32 billion to administer. You clearly can't use the same little 2x4 where you used to be in a office to manage so much things. You deal with so much contractor, so much bills of quantity coming in and to be assessed and for people to be paid. You have to have a bigger operation, a bigger place. You have to have more computer, more this and thing. And the man them set up a place for 100 million. And the man them make 100 million look like $1 billion. Them put them hand on them and say, Lord Jesus, the sky is falling. It's like the man them commit one of the most egregious crime. And when I think we fall apart, if I them not push back hard on these things, not the rubbish that we are talking about. I'm on that.
Yeah, man, the party need to push back harder.
They don't push back because even in the same JD thing there, the Christiana bypass, $800 and something million to build the Christiana bypass. And all the people them do them put their hand on, no, $800 million. And they don't care whether the thing, I mean, when you're building a road, you know, road price vary, you know, because when you have to acquire land and cut the land, you have to.
But not to break your stride, but did you know that it was PNP who benefited most from the sale of those lands to build that bypass? One particular member at the time, one particular member of the PNP at the time, he was the one that bought most of those land for pennies and sold it back to the government for millions.
Right.
So,
Right.
Go on, kind of talk a little bit. We can finish. And then we want to ask what role Mark Golden play in a film. But go ahead, finish up. Where did that
Yeah. So here is the thing. The government doing this great good. $32 billion fixing road. Money was well spent. The money not wrap up. Right? But they went into an election and could not say we did this. Because the man them use the corruption allegation and cut off them tongue. Cut off them tongue. That's what they do. And that's what they have been doing. Right? Them alleged corruption, and then therefore the government has to be silent. And whatever great good they were doing, they can't talk about it. Because people are going to say, don't rob up the whole of the money. They not to accept it. We must push back on it and explain to the people. Because when them point about the 800 million Christiana bypass, it was they got that at a discount. International standard of bypass like that should have cost 1.5 billion at the time. 1.5 billion because you can't just come and talk about so much money that's going. You have to look and see how much lanes road. 2 or 4.
The man who did that run against Ardley Shaw at the time was the man who buy most of the land.
Right.
And he buy most of that land from the people them for some little old people and some little people who live there. For less than 100 million.
Yeah. Right.
I made crazy profits on it.
Of course, I can just imagine. Right? So, okay, so that is the strategy that the PNP have been using. They have used, when they are in opposition, them use the allegation of corruption. because they know the party are perform, so them allege corruption, and that now cloud out the performance. Nobody now look upon the performance. Nobody now appreciate the performance because there's this big allegation that will rub up the money.
We're there every day, Mr. Francis. I try to push out to the people them what is going on as it relates to government and what government is doing. We feel like sometimes we need a little bit of help, you know. We need some MP to come on and talk about what is happening as well, you know. So we're glad to have you this morning.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be here.
You know,
I'm glad to be here.
I want to get look a bit in a Finzak, you know, because you know you would have been around in the time and can tell us better, us younger ones, you can tell us better as to what happened during that time.
I really am with Finsack. After
And also the leading up to it. What happened leading up to it?
yeah, man. Well, it all stem back from Michael Manley mashing up the economy, right? And 1980 when they took over, you know, we had to go to IMF and get IMF things, you know, and IMF come with them all the conditionalities. And I tell them if you do this and I tell them if you do that. I tell them look on them and tell them, say, nah, do it. Him nah do it. Because they are one of the smartest man who ever run Jamaica. And Eddie look on them and ask them, where your method work? And they couldn't tell him and him say, nah, do it. And them tell it if he say must divest this, divest that. Him say, nah, do it. And all when IMF was there telling Eddie if he divest, Eddie take money, but them we never have and buy ESO. What you know, Petrojam at Siaga buy it, you know, in 1980. When them are telling him to divest and rid himself of all the things them. And he never do it. Them want him divest GPS, telephone company, all of them. Them not do it. He not do it. And what he did was to divest a part of the NCB bank and them look away there, right? But in the meantime, IMF always come with them conditionality and them want interest rate to increase, right? Because the IMF, and it's not a friendly entity, you know, I no feel no way. I want them the man go back to vulture capital America. Right? Because they went to South Asia and do the same thing down there and try, you know, they want every little problem, they want interest rate to rise. Because when interest rate rise, it will cause bankruptcy. You know, no matter how you take it, it will cause bankruptcy. So they come with these high interest rate regime, wanting bankruptcy, so that their vulture capital can come buy up things for cents on the dollar. Right? And they come and tell people to divest of this and divest of that. And that's why they can eventually divest of the JPS to Miranda, a bankrupt company, which get it and in short all of them become rich out of it. Right? Anyway, that was the background for Finsack. So you have Eddie Siaga there now. Siaga was there. And IMF tell him what to do and Siaga tell IMF what him not do. Because Siaga did big like that. And in terms of not do that. So what happened? Siaga was able to hold the exchange rate at 550 to 1 US. So everything is stabilized. Inflation was stabilized. We did back to growth again because in 86 we had growth, in 87 we had growth. No, I think 86 was a deflation year. 87 and 88 we had growth, right? So we were out of the woods. Interest rate was still a little high, right? Because IMF wanted us to maintain this high interest rate regime, and it was still a little high. But Eddie lost the election in 89 and PNP took over, right? And the first thing as them take over, Seymour Mullins was the Minister of Finance, and the dollar start galloping, right? Because he never understand a few things. Because we had the Hurricane Gilbert 88. There was a lot of international donors who pledged support to Jamaica. But what they wanted to do was for Jamaica to do the things, and then these international donors would have reimbursed us, right? So like for the building back process, building the various things, them say, well, all right, okay, we'll help you, but Go and build it back and we give the money. Right? When PNP come in, them come in thinking, so them come see the money in the draw in the chest. And that was not to be. And therefore the dollar start galloping. Right? And one of the mechanisms used to contain a galloping dollar is the interest rate. You increase the interest rate, and that will make people want to save rather than spend, right? It will also make international people, like people in the diaspora, or people in the diaspora, they want to send money to Jamaica, but save because the interest rate higher. So that was the mechanism that was being used to contain the slide of the dollar, right? Now, these are temporary measures. You can have a high interest rate situation indefinitely. But PNP come now, and then they start use the high interest rate to try attract international savings, right? And then now they were making the IMF take them and twist them, tell them exactly what they do, and they like good little boys were doing it and doing it even more than the IMF asks, right? And one of the biggest things was that people were there lobbying for the freeing up of the international money, right? Because there was a time in Jamaica, you know, when if you're traveling, you have to go to the bank and they might give you $50 so you could go travel. And then write in your passport, and everybody have a quota for the year. Them couldn't get more than X amount, right? You most of the thing coming into the country was done by you had to get a permit to bring in most things, right? The few cars that were here were Lada. When Michael, you know, did a barter swap between Russia, we get Lada and we get them backside. And so a few cars there, and you have to line up for buy those cars, right? So there was a clamor for people for things to be freed up. But the risk with freeing up the money, with freeing up the trade and all them things there, it means you go and put pressure on the dollar. You're going to put pressure on the dollar. And when Michael came back in 89, the IMF was there telling him he must divest of this, divest of that. And he must free up the currency. And him no want to go and behave like him better than Siaga. Went ahead and free up the currency and never have no money in reserve. He never have no money in reserve. So in order to stave off the inflationary pressure that will cause, them had to jack up interest rate even higher. And jack up the interest rate even higher. So him liberalize the dollar too soon and put pressure on the dollar. And in order to ease the pressure, them jack up the interest rate. Jack up the interest rate to the roof. And that is what Omar Davis chose to do. Jack up interest rate. And then in an environment where interest rate was high, you had some people who figure, say, well, look, government will give me 30% on the money. If me take the money and give you 15% and government give me 30, me can make a 15% spread. And that is what Deering, Bunting and Golden did. Them set up things and was there getting money from the average man at say 15% and was able to lend it back to government at 32%. And that is how they make them killing. You understand? Of course, there was a number of other things that, you know, man accused them of getting sweetheart deal and then vex and sue and all kind of thing. But there was sweetheart deal. There was what you call unsolicited proposals, where I know the government requests proposal so that the broad public can submit a proposal and say, I can supply that service for you at this price, and there's competition, right? That is how it is normally done. But what really happens now is that if me have an idea, I feel me intellectual property, me know the idea go run, me can go to government and say, you know, with an unsolicited proposal, I can say, I have this idea, you know, I can charge 100 million, and we can do this and we can do that. And government can accept it. You don't think it's a good idea, right? And it's the same thing there in Bunting and Golendo. Go to Omar Davis with them unsolicited proposal. You know, so they can provide funding for this at X interest rate. And the Comrade Davis accept it. And of course, these interest rate was humongous because it was unsolicited, there was no competition. So they were able to charge whatever the hell they want. So that is how Darren Bunting and Golden became such a thriving business.
Were there no regulation in the banking sector at that time, MP Caretaker?
The regulation was weak. But let me tell you something. Nothing can survive an interest rate in a sustained period of time. Nothing. You can't regulate till the crows come home to roost. Once interest rate is designed to slow the economy down, you know. You ever notice when inflation around and the economy are overeat, what they do is to implement a high interest rate. And it is designed to slow the economy down.
Yeah, because it stops people from purchase things because of
Yes. And when you
He also the bigger business and to make more money too.
well, and you know something is illusionary. You know, some people can make, but most people don't make no money, right? Because during that period of time, 40 financial institutions went bankrupt. You know, 40 financial institutions alone went bankrupt. So it's only few, and Darren Bunting and Golden was one of the few. And the reason they were able to survive is because they were able to come with these unsolicited proposals to government, which government went along with. And they went along with it because a comrade come with the proposal.
Were they a part of the government when they were doing this?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think Bunting didn't go in a government. Golden was some lawyer. I think he may have been advising PG Omar. There was some
Financial lawyer at the time.
yeah, but I don't think they were part of the government per se at that time.
He was a part of government at the time.
You sure? Remember, say when after him lose a Clarendon name, he take himself, you know. So he was not. I don't know. I don't remember. If he was a part, he probably would have been in the Senate or something. But I don't know.
So Omar was a part of government?
I didn't get that. I didn't get that question. Repeat.
I think he said he was the finance minister.
He was finance minister. He was finance minister. Right? He was finance minister. And he was the one accepting these unsolicited proposals. You know, he came with this model where they have these high interest rate, 30%. And then they have to be sopping up liquidity because what they would do was issue like what you call it, government bonds, which mature every 3 months. Every 3 months they mature, you know. And then, so if you get a bond for 100 million and you get 30% interest on that, when it matures, you get 130 million. Right?
Peter Bunting was a part of the government. I just Google it. He became an MP in 1993.
Okay. Well, there you go. And then because of that, that privileged position, they were able to get them unsolicited proposal accepted. Because if it was a case where a man was bidding, other people was competing, the interest rate probably would have been lower. But they were able to provide government with money at about 30%, right? And they were taking money from the public and promising them at the most 20% on it. So they were able to make spreads of between 10 to 15%. Anybody who will be able to do that will become rich. And that is how they became rich. That's how they became them have this humongous amount of money.
And the government itself at the time, the finance minister was selling off people's loans was, taking over people's loan and selling them off for 10 cents on the dollar.
Well, that was after the financial sector adjustment company came into being. That was after the shit hit the fan and everything collapsed, right? Because that is what happens when you have an environment of high interest rate. Business have to fail. No matter how, no management, nothing, no regulation, nothing. Business
Over
might
50
fail. You just can't survive at a certain level of interest.
over 50,000 businesses collapse.
Yeah. Yeah, you have, I mean, Mutual Life was there for 100 and odd years.
Almost 200 years.
Mutual Life collapse, NCB collapse, right? Thing that bought Royal Bank and NCB, all of them merged into
There
one.
was a Citibank, remember there was a Citibank downtown and
Yeah, Citibank was Siaga established Citizens Bank.
Bank was the Citizens Bank and Workers Bank was the two first banks to go under.
Yeah, Workers Bank went under. The Workers Bank was because they were a bank where the post office used to run it. We had a postal banking system in Jamaica, like in Japan. And then that became the Workers Bank, right? And Michael nationalized Barclays Bank and called it NCB. And those banks were fine. Those banks were doing fine because even during the socialist years, the dark days of the socialism. I'll call you back. I'm on
Yeah, so how they manage to do that? Is that not like a conflict of interest for them investment for business where they are run to join with the government and do some dodgy business behind people back?
I didn't get the first part of the question.
Yeah, I was saying the fact that DBNG got established and was lending money to government or for whatever reason, is not that conflict of interest?
I mean, yeah, there could be some conflict of interest, but I think one of the things where they have, man, is this thing where you call unsolicited proposal, right? And you cannot kill that out totally because I might come up with an idea that could really help government, but him won't have the idea. So you're not going to have competitive bidding for that, right? So then come with this unsolicited proposal, and that is what they did.
And this is my final question to you, Mr. Francis, because we still have to wrap up now. But the PNP, like you say, right, the question gone out of my head. Hold on. So find it, but the PNP, like we say on their live, that PJ and Omar Davis paid off the IMF and we had no debt during the People's National Party time in the 90s. Can you expunge on that?
Yeah, that is true. But we had no discipline neither. Because what really happened, when you have to go to the IMF, because you have been doing something wrong. You are not conducting your financial affairs properly, right? And that is why you have to go to IMF. Now, when IMF come in, IMF come with a certain discipline. And IMF will tell you what you can and can't do, right? And PNP did not like to be told what they can and can't do because when it comes to PNP, politics is first. And if they have to run with a program so that comrades are happy, them go and do it.
So, Mr. Francis, if they paid off the IMF when Bruce Golding took government in 2007, how comes we had a debt to GDP of 140 something percent?
Then, okay, them pay off the IMF and then bankrupt the country. the FinSAC thing, that's what happened. Because when either you go and deal with the IMF and endure their regime, or you go on your own And you suffer the kind of debt that we ended up in.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So them paying off the IMF was not no big thing. It was the cause of our destruction. Right? Because once they pay off the IMF, but they ended up what they must tell us is that them bring on FinSac. You know, to clean up FinSac was $3 billion US dollar. A $3 billion US dollar it take to clean up FinSac, you know. They had to pay out the pension fund, and them had to secure people bank account. Otherwise, the country would have exploded.
So the persons that get left behind because of high interest rate, they were left in the lurch. There's no redress for them.
No, the only people government was able to do was to they make pensioners. Pensioners could have lost all their pension, you know, and all of the pensioners would have go resort to the garbage bin. And the insurance companies them pay that out. They pay out pension at the insurance company, the cash value in the insurance company, and people bank account. People, if a man had $1 million in a bank account, them still let him could have come access it. Right?
One of those persons was Best Dressed Chicken.
Well, that might have been so.
Yeah, Jamaica boilers went down to the dirt, almost collapsed. Remember, people couldn't get chicken.
A lot of business fail because that's what happens when you have an interest. Our interest is designed to slow the economy down. And if you don't know what you're doing, you ever see a man drive and inside and brake and come to a steady stop? He just jump on the brake and everybody fly through the windscreen.
Mutual Life was the oldest insurance company in the Caribbean, went under. Went
Yes.
out.
Yes. And we had a lot of financial Jamaica, because all LOJ was owned by Jamaicans.
Right.
Island Life was owned by Jamaicans. Right? And all of these things.
And
All
Dial
of these.
Dial Insurance.
Yeah.
Didn't we have a Guardian Life also?
Yeah,
What about Guardian Life?
No, I was saying, didn't we have a Guardian Life that went under?
No, Guardian Life came in and bought up Mutual Life assets.
No, man, Guardian Life is now the company that own Mutual Life and I think another insurance company also.
Yeah, they bought up an insurance company assets.
They bought about 3 insurance company and became Guardian Life. That's how they are recent. They are recent history.
Yeah, I think Island Life, there was Island Life, Island Life, Mutual Life. I think those assets were Pool and Guardian Life bought them.
Well,
And then there was LOJ and some other company, and Zadie Core came in and bought those.
So Dorlan,
Right. Yeah.
so me just want just a little change. More of you to talk about the mother of all scandals, in my opinion. Tell me about this oil edge business here. The oil edge is crazy.
Yeah, Isle Edge is nonsense, man. Isle Edge is total nonsense. And you notice when JP took over, they were putting pressure on them to continue it. But at least so people listen to arguments, and you know that never gone. Edging is a nonsense. Isle Edge especially because it's not like you're insuring, you know. It's not like you're going to put in X amount in a premium pool, and then if you fail, you get paid for that. Isle Edge, how Edge work is like them say, okay, they go in, Isle Edge at $50 a barrel, and then they might give a company X amount of dollar and say, look, if it pass $60 a barrel, then you go and give me the difference. Anything over 60, you give me the difference. Because that is all the Edge doing now. It's not like say if you are buy the oil for $50. And then you set a strike price and say $60. It means if you reach $60, whoever providing the aid will pay by the aid for $60. No. Okay, now by the aid for $60. They're going to give you the difference. Anything over 60, if it go to 61 or 62, they will give you the $1 or $2 extra.
Let me
And they
hear
will
about
only give you the money if you as long as the difference exists. Then I will give you definitely.
Let me hear the formulation of Dr. Peter Phillips's oil edge and how much it costs the people of Jamaica.
I don't remember that number then. I think the last time we did it cost us about $32 million.
US dollars.
I don't remember US or Jamaican dollars. But the amount they paid, there are two tranches of hedging, right? And it was not realized. It means that no money was paid under the hedge. We just paid the premium and we got nothing in return because the price never reached what we call the strike price.
It was $100 a barrel.
Yeah, it never reached that level where the company providing the hedge would have come in to pay up.
So
but I don't think our people understand how edge work because the way edge work, just like I explained a while ago, if oil is now at $50 a barrel, and you say I'm going to edge, and if it reaches 60, you're using 60 as a strike price. If the price of oil reaches $60, the edge, the company providing the edge not pay nothing yet, is when it exceeds the $60. Then they're going to pay the difference. So if it reaches 61, then they pay the one. If it reaches 62, then they pay the $2 per barrel, the $2 per barrel, right? And if the price fall back down to say 59, then the hedging company not nothing to pay. So hedging of oil is total utter rubbish.
So Peter Phillips then was literally gambling some high stakes game with.
Let me tell you what really happened, man. Let me tell you straight up what really happened. If me come to you, Paul, and say me want you provide me with that edge, and me going to give you a $10 million premium, and me say give me a kickback of $2 million, $3 million out of the $10 million. You get it? So these people who entertain the edging was all there just for where they can get back. Because I do nothing for the country. No, do nothing for the country. It's just a transaction that will enable them to get the money from whoever they do business with. You understand? It was a total giveaway of money, total useless. Because the bottom price in life, is this. If a commodity costs more, you buy less of it. That's all you do. You adjust yourself and you buy less. And the higher the price go, before long, you go and have what you call demand destruction. People now can't afford to buy them at them high price. This oil price never go over $140 a barrel. Because if it go $140 a barrel, it collapses. Nobody can buy it at that price. And then it come right back and everybody and you can buy. So you just have to endure a little pain, and then the price will come right back to you. You don't need to hedge nothing. The money where you're going to take for hedge, if you're going to use 10 million on hedge, use that 10 million, and when you reach 140, you can take it to you buy the little thing, as long as it will sustain at that level. Because I can't see the flam because people can't afford it. So therefore you have what is called demand destruction, and the price will come tumbling right back down. Right? Hedging will only cause hedging cause what you call it, moral hazard. It's a hazard because if everybody hedge, then the price will go for 140 and 150 and stay there. Okay. It won't come back down.
Excuse me, I have a question, right? Is there, I don't want to be rude because I've been in and out, but is there like a particular topic this morning, or are we just having a nice history lesson?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna have a history lesson today.
It's
Gotcha.
still a,
I didn't want
it's
to be
still a,
off topic. I'm like, I can't say the Jean thing because it's so small. And if we were like reading from a prompt or there was something, but okay. When there's a free time, I'd like to say something.
you can't say it now.
I can say it now. Okay. I don't want to cut you. You sure you got everything out about the
Yeah,
edging and
man. Yeah,
the
man. I
barricade?
think I answered the agent thing.
Gotcha. Okay. So, with this new election that's going on in the US, and I have to call it new because they have a lot of new strategies and new standpoints and new perspective of how we start voting for people. So I'm gonna call it new election, right? And these multiple lives that they have defending Republican, Democrats. You know what it has kind of like taught me that how in Jamaica we sit down and we look back at Manley years and we look back at Siaga years and say what they did and what they didn't do and how better they could have done it. How much the country is in turmoil because of all the policies that and or consequence that we're paying for from our forefathers. I kind of listen to the American groups as well, and then they will say stuff like, "Oh, but the Democrats initiated the Triple K group for who's don't know the men in white hoods, or the Democrat did this and the Democrat did that." And then the people on the opposing side now answer would be, "Okay, so am I held accountable for my forefathers' mistakes?" Or do you look at me as a candidate now for today, for what I'm running for today? Because I can't be really held accountable for what happened before. So just thinking to myself, right? And I'm like, a lot of time in our groups, we dwell a lot on the history, we dwell a lot on the past. And let's just make it known, we really can't change the past. But what we should dwell on some of the time is, what are your mandates now? Or are we comfortable with you as a person now to run the country? Like, let's use Mark Golan as an example, right? Personally, I have no confidence in Mark Golan. I'm from a PMP family, but I prefer JLP. But personally, I have no confidence whatever in Mark Golan. Mark Golan personally look like a man child to me, and seems like if he don't get his way, he'll throw a little temper tantrums like former President Trump. So I was thinking to myself, right, if for this new election, or for this new election period in Jamaica, right, instead of dwelling in the past, how about let's work on discrediting the other parties? So when a PMP person do slide through the live, it's not just about history, because they're gonna say, okay, I know that. We all the social study, we're all the history class. But what is it, the reason today in 2024 why I should not vote for Mark Golan and I should vote for the most honorable Andrew Holmes? What is it that he's doing today that Mark Golan is such an unfit choice? Because people are sliding in and out, and if you read the numbers, people are scrolling in and they might catch a little piece and then them come back in and them. But what is it that we can constantly put out? What is the narrative that can be on the prompt to say Mark Golan XYZ? Just like how every day you hear Kamala not black enough, Kamala uneducated, Kamala failed the bar. You know more bad about Kamala than the history of the United States.
So
Or Donald Trump is a
All right.
rapist, Donald Trump this.
Hold
So
on,
like, what is it we can do to
Today is the
discredit him?
first you have
Hold
been
on
listening,
now.
DUJON.
Hold
No,
on now.
I've been here a lot.
Hold on now. So on a daily basis, we come and we talk about the government accomplishment, and especially me.
Yeah, man, I know. Because I come here a lot,
What is really happening on the ground? The PNP have nothing to show. So they are reverting back to history. So this is why we are talking about the history today, to show how bad it was, and telling the people that we have an elder here that lived in that time, and this is why we are talking about it today, to let persons know that this is what really happened.
No, I get that. It's not just this group, and I'm just saying in general. We a lot of time, especially in political times, we tend to go back rather than to work on, than to really look at the mandate of today. Like, what are we doing today to better? But no, Dujan, remember say I come here enough time, I know where your group votes. But as I say, like, not for him partaker. That's why I asked specifically if today we're doing a history, like a recap. But I just wanted to make sure before. Eh?
Amisha, I think you made the point quite well. If I might come in, here's the thing. We need to repeat it. You know, the further back you look, the further forward you can see. History is essential
Yes.
so that you don't repeat it, right? You don't repeat it. Some people keep to think that we should ignore history and just think about how we're going to solve the problem going forward. But there's no need to invent the wheel. All we have to do is look back in history and learn from it, right? And you asked a question about why you should have support Andrew instead of Mark Olin.
I never said that. I never said that. I never said that. Never said that.
Well, no, all right. But maybe what did you say? You said something to that effect.
I said
though.
I'm from a PMP family, but I personally support Andrew over Mark Golan because Mark Golan is a man-child in my perspective. And I don't see a reason to vote for him.
Okay, all right.
Can I say something?
I misheard you. Anyway, look, the bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. When you look at the history of Jamaica development, you can see which of the party developed the country better and faster, and which of the party take us back in time. And there's no two way about it. The People's National Party has caused Jamaica to go back in time. If we did not have the People's National Party in Jamaica, we would be like Singapore today. You understand? And it is all because of the ideology, because of the culture, because of the culture of both parties. One of the party believe, like the PNP believe in power at any cost. And in order to get power, you have to appease the supporters. And they do economic activity and things to appease their supporters in order to hold on to power. And in appeasing their supporters, they then to destroy the economy of the country.
Dorlan,
Yeah?
let me say something quickly. If you look at Mark Golan and what he's saying right now, he's saying that instead of paying down the debt, what we need to do is take this money, right, and throw it out and give people and whatever. This is the same history of the PMP that has destroyed Jamaica.
Right, and
So
he wants it to repeat itself at all times.
Go ahead.
Can I say something
The long
here?
and short of it, history is a guide to the future.
No, I get that. Don't think I'm discrediting the history, But I'm just saying that a lot of times, even when the political slogans start to come up on the TV, for the younger generation, right? There are people that love to fact check. Them love to deal with what them can benefit from now. So when we're not really speaking their language, we lose them some of the time. You get me? So to grab the younger people on our side and to give them a reason, we have to give them purpose in why they should vote for Andrew.
Can I say something here?
Go ahead.
I am on the program, and let me tell you, listening to all of what taking place from 72 all the way up, some of them I did not know, which some I have known. And this, I'm taking notes because I have my children, and I want this history to hand it down to my children and my grandchildren. So I applaud Mr. What he's saying, and I am learning a lot. Not only for myself. I want to tell others, young people out there, because I deal with a lot of young people. I want to impart these things to young people too. So we are still capturing, even though what I honor what you're saying, but we are still capturing everything to go out there and let other young people know what had happened and how we can change it. Simple.
Well, as I said, just my opinion. It might be an unpopular opinion today, but that's just my opinion.
Guys, may I go on one question each to Mr. Dorlan because we so I gonna let him go so he can have breakfast and stuff. So starting from Misha, one question, then Paul, then Pascal, then mine, then Marcia, then Labor Yard. One question each. And try and make it short, please.
I guess
I'm not hearing anything.
you can come back to me. I get in a call. No, come back to me. I get in a call. Come back to me.
Alright, go ahead, Paul C.
I really don't have no questions right now, no, Dijon. Let's just move on to the other panelists and then we can take it from there.
Go ahead, Peter.
I think Petal is muted, so move on.
My question is this. Dorlan.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Go ahead, Peter.
My question is this. Do you think Mark Golden is a suitable candidate or a suitable person for the highest office, one of the highest office in Jamaica?
The question the easy.
I'll do John. It can answer that, you know.
Yeah, you're muted, you know, Mr. Francis.
Mr. Francis.
Unmute yourself, you're muted.
If yes, why? And if no, why not?
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I want to do. Look, the bottom line is this. It's not about the leadership of the PNP. It's about the PNP itself. It's about the culture of the PNP. And I don't care who leads it. Because they're going to come together as a team. One of the great things about them is that they know to work as a team. They work as a team. But they can be very destructive in their work. Right? And as far as I care, it's not about the leader of the PNP. It's about the PNP itself. Because the PNP see politics as a fraternal organization where they come together to plunder the resources of the state. No two way about it. And that's why no matter how we build up the country and make the country thrive and prosper, all they will come to do is see how we can plunder this. And in plundering, you have to build every day. The economy have to grow every day. And if once the minute growth start, then the decline will set in. And when it's come to just plunder, it don't take long to mash up the country.
Go ahead, Misha. Go ask a question, Misha. Unmute.
Skip and come back. When I check out in a Walmart. It's just the worst time for me. Skip and come back.
All right.
All right.
You want me to go? DUJON?
Go ahead.
Marcia,
Yes.
I heard what you
Okay.
said. I'm very encouraged from what you said. I hope you go out there and preach the gospel.
I always do. I
Yes.
always do.
I'm glad you're able to pick up things too. Because
Yes.
I believe if people really know the history of Jamaica, the PNT would have no place here. Because they have not done nothing for the country.
You know what my kids told me and friends? I am too patriotic. That's what they told me. But I tell them that I love my country. And don't matter where in the world I go, Jamaica is my home. My question is, do you think, and I can see it, I know, but I just want to hear others. Do you think the PNP have an agenda for this country in the terms of letting us going back where we are coming from?
The PNP does not have an agenda for the country. They have an agenda for the party.
Okay.
The PNP is just about power.
Mm-hmm.
to enjoy. They want to. They and the people who are part of their party to enjoy the positions in the country, the privileges.
Wow.
That's all they want. They have no plan how to develop the country, and they do not know how to develop the country, and they will not be able to do it because of their past history. The minute jail, if PNP was to take power now, every businessman going to put them business expansion plan on pause. Everybody going to wait and see. And when you adopt a wait and see position,
Economy
then nothing will happen. The economy going to stagnate.
Right. So,
And there will be no growth.
Mr. Francis, that night is asking if Michael Manley is the same as his father, or was Michael Manley a loose cannon?
Norman Manley was a gentleman. Michael Manley
A
was
lot
a
of us
poor.
born long after he was dead, you know, so we don't know much about.
Yeah, man. Norman Manley was a gentleman. Although, he playing politics and him ran prof too. But he was a gentleman because Michael Manley was a power hungry rogue. We just lucky him never take us into communism. He just never had enough balls to stand up to America. That's why he never take us into communism. But he wanted to go down that road.
Okay.
And a lot of what takes Jamaica now is Michael Manley the reason. Is Michael Manley send guys that Cuba go learn on the Brigadista program, you know.
We are certain we have no qualms that it is him that caused all of that. You know?
No.
Why?
No, man, he was a gentleman, man. Otherwise, when he lost the referendum, he never have to call election. He never did have to call election, you know. But him call election and the JLP won it, and Buster became the first Prime Minister of Jamaica. And that was because of Norman Manley principle. He took a principled position. Norman Manley wasn't too bad because Norman Manley brought in the common entrance examination for people. And although the ratio was 70 to 30, 70 to the rich people and 30 to the poor people, that wasn't bad because him bring it in, and then Edwin Allen now was able to write that ship and change it from 70-30 to 30-70, you know, because the rural people were given just 30% of the places, and the corporate area people were given 70% on the Norman Manley. But Edwin Allen was able to reverse that, right? But Norman Manley was the one who, I think it was 57, that he gave about 70% of the budget towards education. And that was when common entrance came into being. That was when the Ministry of Education was built. And so on. So Norman Manley did things for Jamaica, and Michael Manley not nothing.
Go ahead, Rick Star.
Okay.
Me not to have the question for Mr. Francis still, now, but me really appreciate the time when take to come over here, come share some knowledge, you know? Because a lot of us probably wouldn't have the time to go research and to get all of the information when share. So, Mr. Francis, look up yourself.
Go ahead now.
Yes, I just want to ask you, pertaining, do you feel that if Edward Seaga had won 89, if the country would be far more advanced? And another question pertaining to FinZac. If the FinZac did not take place, and one, do you think FinZac affect us up to today? And do you think that everybody felt the effect of FinZac?
Yeah, man. If the biggest mistake Jamaica make was 89, biggest mistake, because it should have been clear to them that Michael Manley was taking us down a dark alley. It should have been clear. You know, it's not like the Michael Manley it's not like 72 when they were trying him out. We tried him and we know what he was about. But nevertheless, they went back to him in 89, right? After Sierra took a country that was shattered, everybody know the history of what Siaga do from 62 come up. I know that this is a man, is a performer. This is a man who has the best, the country's best interest at heart. And he was a performer and he can deliver. So they had no reason to vote against him, but it was PNP propaganda, you know, they target the leader, destroy the leader, and the people was able to form this hatred for Siaga for no good reason. But FinSac really mash us all up. And that is what happens when if you don't know how to manage the affairs of a country, that you go and put the PNP did not understand capitalism. The PNP does not understand free market economy, right? And the IMF tell them what to do, right? When the IMF was trying to tell Siaga what to do, Siaga looked at them and said, tell me where it worked, where that model worked. And they could not tell him. And he was smart and intelligent enough to say, if you can't tell me how it works, then me I got to do it, or me believe it will work. And they had to allow him to do it. And that is what saved the day, right? But what did PNP do? They come in and they wanted to outdo the IMF. And they wanted to use every opportunity to rake and scrape. The IMF come in and say you have to nationalize GPS. Not nationalize it. You have to liberalize it. You have to divest it, right? And Siaga look and say, no, JPS is an integral part of the economy of the country. That is, somebody asked me if we still suffer from it. We're suffering from it to this day. Because if your electricity is expensive, you cannot compete. How can we compete with Trinidad? With electricity a few cents per kilowatt, right? And our electricity is so expensive, right? And all that happened. The IMF come in with this model about divestment and of things. And say, that's the way it works. And it don't work no way. There's also some neoliberal came up with this thing where believes the government not to own anything and that the free market know best, right? Just go tell that to China now. And look at China, the number 2 power in the world, right? Government has a role to play in the economy. The free market has its role too. So the two of them can compete. But these neoliberal beliefs, the government not to be in the economy. And then the IMF buy into that neoliberal thinking and come and try to ram it down our throat. And PNP was only too glad to go along with it. When the IMF was telling Siaga to divest this, divest that, two things. Siaga sent Versier in-flight service. And then he went and buy Petrojam because he know the importance of energy in our country. So you know they give him a big money, IMF, money from the IMF. He went and buy Petrojam nevertheless. When the IMF tell him, say, government must sell where they own. And when Michael come and took over, they just divest everything, give everything. It's more like how when Russia changed from communism to free marketing. Most of the Russian oligarchs down there, them just get a whole heap of state thing. And that is how they become billionaire. And it was the same thing the PNP was doing here. Right? You see, they gave away at JPS. One man bid $260 million for JPS. Me know that. Because I was consulted on it and wanted to understand the culture of this country. $260 million. And that bid was shoved aside. And it's another bid for $110 million US. 110. No, sorry, 210 million. 50 million less than what was bid. That them accepted. Right? I mean, sure, a lot of the people who was involved in that will be able to get a whole heap of kickback out of that money. Whole heap of kickback.
So maybe we move to labor yard question now. Labor yard.
Yeah, man, respect. Now you ask my question, sir. The one where you ask about FinSac. If you believe we still suffer from it.
Okay, and the question there already. Maybe
yeah, man, Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
man,
me just,
we're still suffering, man. We're still all the difficulties. Remember, say all the JLP we used to go economy by 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%. Well, since Andrew take over, we're doing grow by 4%, you know. And it's all stemming from that. It's all stemming from that culture, the culture that FinSat brought. Why we can't get the kind of growth that we have had in the past.
But we are growing nonetheless. Better than negative growth.
Of course, we're growing. And we're growing far more than PNP has ever grown economy.
The Jamaican economy is growing more than the British economy, with that only grew 0.6 in the last quarter.
Yeah. I mean, and then with all the COVID thing and all them things, you know, it helped in that. But the whole culture, because we had a culture of saving and investing, right? And money was not as expensive as it is now. Right now, the money in the country is not being productively used, you know. Money in Jamaica is very expensive, you know. We see how people have to go borrow money from these small cash place, this microfinancing place, and them have to be paying 50% interest. Those things in that growth. But all that is big, that stem from the FinSA culture.
Misha is back. MP Caretaker. Misha is back. Go ahead, Misha.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Dorlan, thank you for your history lesson. It was very informative. Don't discredit that. But my question is, right, and I can only speak for my generation, the younger generation. How would you, I know, hold on, backtrack to that. Jamaica has a culture where we vote. It's not just Jamaica, but the world on a whole, but one can speak for Jamaica. Jamaica have a culture where we vote for the party that our forefathers loved and our area idolized, right? So if you live in a PNP stronghold area, you are more entitled to vote PNP because that's what your family speak of, right? Despite our history, because somebody else's argument can be, I am not my father's mistakes. But despite our history, what would be your mandate or your premise for a young person to convert from what their stronghold is saying to vote what is best for the country? So what would be your premise for it?
Well, I think people should vote based on performance. You look at both parties and see which one has performed, and you let the performance be the guide. And as I've always said, performance alone not going to win the election. Because what is done in the past is done, and people can say, well, we have that already, so you know you can't take it back, so it no matter. But you're going to see who now have a promise for the future. So young people should weigh these two things. Who is coming to promise a better future? So you look at the future promise, but at the same time, don't just listen to the promise. You have to see if who is making the promise can deliver on the promise. And this is where performance come into being. So you're going to look and see what the JLP is promising for the future. And then when you look at the word and promises, can they deliver? And then you look at their history, and you will see that they have delivered over the years. And the same thing with the PNP, because anybody can come and promise anything, you know. Have anything sweet and you make it look glowing like it's even you want to reach. But then when you look and say, what have they done in the past? When you look at their past history, then you're going to say, but them now again can live on this promise. You understand? So these are the two things young people must look at. What is the promise for the future? And who can best deliver on this promise?
MP Caretaker, we are going to let you go now because you know your phone are ringing off the hook for a man and the people them probably need you know. So big up yourself. We want to say condolence to everybody who ever died in political violence over the years coming up to now. You know, so big up yourself with the insight this morning, manners and respect. And
Yeah,
we
man.
appreciate on the program
Yeah,
again.
man. I do appreciate the invite, and you know, I was looking forward to doing a lot more of this. So feel free anytime, and if you have a different subject I want to go down a different way, we can. I stand ready to participate in any forum that will educate and enlighten.
All right, sir. Manners and enough
Yeah,
respect.
man.
Guys,
All
info
right.
meets gone live, you know, so we run long in an info shift this morning. So, you know, going over info. Big up
All
respect.
right, Dorlan, avant-garde of the Labour Bloc.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah, Paul. Take care.
All right.